Good afternoon, everyone. Today is April 27th, 2021. It is a Tuesday, and my name is Michelle Grimolia. I am the president and CEO here at Woodland Pond at New Paltz. And today, this is my normal weekly update for Tuesday. I'd like to start today's update by first and foremost expressing my condolences to the family of our resident that did indeed unfortunately, as expected last week, pass away with COVID. She was one of the three that we announced last week had become symptomatic of the total COVID cases on campus. Her health had deteriorated, before the diagnosis and then further after the diagnosis. She was a longtime resident of Woodland Pond. I always had a soft spot for her. She had a dear love of our library and was with us for many years, as was her husband previously. And, of course, we're, just heartbroken that this awful virus hastened her passing. So I just would like to express my condolences to the family of that resident and also her friends and neighbors here at Woodland Pond. And of course, our staff that had gotten to know and really care for her over the last many numbers of years. So we are turning the corner, knock on wood, with the remaining positive cases that we had on campus. At this point, we're down to just a handful of remaining positive cases because a number of the staff members that had tested positive have been cleared to return to work. And as well, of the 8 residents that we had previously had, a number of those have also retested negative, most of which after developing no symptoms. So it's been an interesting few weeks. You may have seen that I was interviewed for News 12 on the breakthrough situation. We were one of a handful of facilities in the actually New York metro area that airs in that region to have reported breakthrough cases of COVID. So cases of COVID where the resident had been vaccinated or staff member had been vaccinated. So this is an increasingly common occurrence, at least as being reported in the news, although the numbers remain exceedingly low. So I think that that's a good sign that there are very few of these breakthrough cases. Of course, we are not happy that it happened at Woodland Pond, but it is happening here and there a bit. So we have to keep an eye on that. And of course, what it does here is it furthers our resolve to make sure that we're creating the safest possible environment, to prevent the virus. On the other hand, the Times-Herald-Record aired a story on Saturday outlining that, the industry as a whole, as we have talked about, there is some vaccine hesitancy, and it did highlight that Woodland Pond is the highest vaccination percentage among staff really in the Hudson Valley, and compared us to a number of our long-term care peer facilities. I will send out a link to that article, because we've been pretty confident, our numbers, although they're not 100%, they are industry leading, and we are working very, very, very hard to, educate and encourage and grow the numbers of vaccinated staff and residents on campus, because we know that that's such a significant tool in preventing future, outbreaks on campus, new positive cases, and so forth. But as you'll see in that Times-Herald-Record article, if you haven't already seen it, some of our peer facilities just right down the road, they're reporting vaccination numbers of staff well below 40%. We're in excess of 65. Actually, the record has it at 69% of staff. So that's, far above and beyond where the industry is. We're going to continue with that effort. We have also identified some additional precautions that we're going to be putting into place with staff that are unvaccinated, just to make sure that we tighten up our COVID protection toolkit as much as possible. And we have spent an exhaustive amount of time discussing vaccine, status, options, mandates, trends, et cetera, over the last couple of weeks after all of this whole thing kind of bubbled up. I have been asked by the Woodland Pond Board of Directors, who just released a statement on vaccination in staff, I will read it for you. I also have posted this to our Facebook page, and we'll send this out to our listserv today. This will be printed and placed in the mailboxes of residents here on campus and shared with all staff. This position statement has been issued by our board. This is not a management statement. You've heard enough from us. This comes from the board. They have heard from you all loud and clear that they would like, that you as a community would like the board engaged on this. They've listened to so much feedback over the last couple of weeks. And so we appreciate you continuing to provide that feedback. But the board, discussed this at length and worked on a statement actually over the entire weekend. There were a number of edits, proposed by different board members. Incidentally, I am not a board member. I am a member of management. So this is issued strictly by the board. This is not, from management. I just like to make that distinction because, as I said, you do hear a lot from us. So this is what the memo reads. This is to all Woodland Pond residents, staff, and families from the Woodland Pond Board of Directors. If you see the hard copy, you'll see it's on Woodland Pond letterhead, and it's regarding the board's position on mandating vaccines for staff, and it is dated April 27th, 2021. It reads as follows. Woodland Pond's Board of Directors joins management in strongly advocating for vaccination of all staff and residents as the best way to protect our community. That said, after extensively considering and discussing the issue, in response to those who have asked leadership to mandate vaccines, we have concluded that mandates could create undesirable legal, ethical, and practical problems. Vaccine hesitancy is an industry-wide issue. Some staff members have declined to be vaccinated due to religious and/or medical reasons. Some have declined due to genuine fears of unknown side effects. The board believes that encouraging vaccinations through education, support, and understanding is the best approach, but also recognizes that mandating vaccinations could result in some of our hard-to-replace staff choosing to seek jobs elsewhere. Freedom seems to be at the heart of our present dilemma. Freedom of staff members to make personal decisions based on individual circumstances, and freedom of residents to return to some semblance of normal life. There is no perfect solution, no final answer, and no guarantee that safety can presently be offered. With an 85% vaccination rate among all residents and staff, Woodland Pond has surpassed our peers across the state. However, even if we could somehow reach 100%, residents would still be vulnerable due to unvaccinated visitors on campus, for example. We greatly appreciate the personal risks that our caring and highly professional staff have taken from the very beginning, and simultaneously, we urge the unvaccinated to reconsider their decision. These vaccines will help to protect you, your families, and the at-risk residents you so loyally serve. In the meantime, management will continue its efforts to safeguard the health and well-being of our residents and staff while striving to find alternatives to on-campus pauses. We recognize the emotional toll this has taken on everyone. We can only earnestly ask for your patience a little longer. So again, that's a statement issued by the Woodland Pond Board of Directors. I certainly would say on behalf of the management team at Woodland Pond, we appreciate the dialogue. We appreciate the understanding of the issues at hand. And we are committed, all of us are committed to doing everything that we can to reduce the impact of this virus on this campus. Through the discussions that we had last week, we heard it loud and clear that while residents are fearful, certainly of the virus itself, it really seems that the biggest concern is the impact of positive cases on your lifestyles and your ability, or as the board so eloquently put it, the freedom that you have to resume somewhat of a normal life. So we heard that loud and clear. We're going to take that under serious advisement. And as we make decisions, as we navigate this, continuing situation, we have that in the front of our mind, that it is the quality of life, the ability for you to maintain, your social contacts, your congregate activities, and most importantly, your visitors from the outside. And, we're really going to take that, guidance as we go forward. I appreciate everyone's feedback and interaction. And of course, you know where to find me. I just do have one sort of housekeeping type note. I have been asked to remind you all that the Library Committee will be giving a program today at 3 p.m. on Channel 1340 regarding the results of the library survey. Thank you all for your continued support, and we will talk to you next Tuesday.